Hi there. So here's Julien of Gorod, and you're listening to Brutal Delicious Podcast.
One, two, three, four. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast.
Hello,
Good,
hello.
yeah.
Good to see you.
Yes, yes.
How are you today?
Very good.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty busy day, but that's all good.
You doing press all day?
Yeah, also not only that, because I have like plenty of other jobs, and I'm actually also a tour guide. So
Oh, really?
preparing this is low season right now, but we are getting ready for it. So a
Are
lot
you
of
in
emails and stuff.
Paris?
No, I live in Toulouse, so this is the very south of France. This
Okay,
is just like 100 kilometers from Spanish border.
nice. So you do like bus tours?
Not really. It's like more really city tours in or what is really about heritage. So
Oh, nice.
I'm making guided tours in castles, churches,
Wow.
everywhere where you see classified monuments, museums. Sure,
Wow.
I'm an art historian actually. So yeah, we're preparing everything and also the album release, and so it's everything at the same time.
Everything
So
at once, right?
yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, thank you for taking the time. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
We can jump right in. Breeding silence. I don't
Yeah.
even know where to start. Holy cow, that's works on so many different levels. It's a blistering technical masterpiece, but it also has a really, really heavy message as well, right?
Yeah. It is, yeah. For once, this is something pretty new to Goro, to be honest. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What made you guys decide to tackle? I mean, I know we're all going through the same nonsense, but is that what was the catalyst to tackle the
Well,
heaviness?
you mean how we got into this kind of stuff?
No, no, no. I mean, the message of the song is so intense, right, and so timely.
So yeah, to be really honest, see, we were composing new stuff, and it all starts the same way because in Gorat, all the music comes from one person, which is our mastermind, which is Mathieu, the main guitarist and guitar composer.
Hmm.
So all what is about the lyrics is always inspired by the music for me. It means I'm unable to write text or to write some lyrics without the music. So then that music already existed, and it sounded melodic. So there is a lot of emotion in the end. There is something epic. So when it's epic, you feel like there is a struggle. That can be a war. That can be
Right.
something like this, and also super intense at the beginning. And there's some kind of march words or whatever. And so I was inspired first by the music, but it really started when the war between Russia and Ukraine started. Actually,
Hmm.
that was the context. And I have very close friends now who used to be one of old school fan of Gorod, who lives actually in Kiev,
Oh, man.
so he's Ukrainian. And when the war started, I was chatting a lot with him in the beginning just to get some news and stuff. And we were chatting, and actually, there is one sentence, there is one quote that is actually from him.
Oh,
And
really?
this is a discussion, yeah, we had together, and he was talking about what was about the battlefield, about everything, and he told me that thing, and I was like, "Yo, that's really something." And I told him, "Okay, well, there will be something come from you on the next song because I was currently writing it already. I had already the thought of the quote from Hegel that is, yeah, listen to the forest that grows rather than the tree that
Right.
falls.
That's like the chorus of this song.
Yeah, so this is, yeah, a quote, a philosophical quote, and the entire album is most based on philosophical thoughts and thinkers. And this is a bit changing. This is absolutely not sci-fi this time or fantasy of an art historian. This is more really, I would say, focused on the reality, on the real things. And because
Right.
of all these experiences we started to live, and I started to think that, okay, let's not be really political, but we cannot like stay blindfolded with all what
Right.
happens around us. And we have to get, because I didn't want to take a political position, but look further, look deeper in the human thoughts, in
Right.
the human things, in what we are. and this is all what it's about. And time to time, when there is big context, then when there is something big, people think blah 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 blah. They're talking
Right.
about things they don't know. And
Oh yeah. However, I think this kind of music or heavy music in general is really good at getting this point across, right? Because it's got the sort of aggression and emotion already in the musical part of it, and then when you add that sort of theme to it, it really
yeah.
drives it home.
Yeah, to me it makes more sense, sure, because when it's like super brutal, but there is no sense behind that, it's just music for musician. Okay, that's good. I'm fine with it. I love also like just let's say stupid lyrics because it
Right.
fits also with the music, and it depends. But if your music is a bit more, I would say, refined, and there is a bit more, also it has to be coherent, all of that. And this is all the time we're trying to make something that fits, which is yeah, I mean that's the concept of the music and the concept of what you have to say
Right.
that fit together. This is an opportunity
Oh
to
yeah,
also
I
to send a
agree.
strong message because most of the time you can just chat with your friends or you go at the pub and you say stuff
Right.
and then it's
Nonsense.
done.
Right.
When it's in the on the music, when it's a piece of art, then you have this chance to have a message that can be reread, reinterpreted, and so
And I think just staying with this subject for 1 second, then we'll go on. But I think music has always had a way of doing that, right? From the 60s, you had the protest music, and the 70s, you had, what was going on in Vietnam, and everybody was reacting to that. So art in
absolutely.
general, all kinds of art in general, like, art, like painting art or whatever, I think is a really good reflection of the times and a good way of dealing with it for both the artist and the viewer.
Absolutely, yeah. For me, that's really important because, yeah, as mentioned before, I am an art historian, so this is also my job and to make this kind of transmission. And I love to study art history more than history because you have to focus on the artifact, on something that does exist. I mean,
Mhm.
it's more you can touch it. You
Mhm.
can touch a piece of work, and even if it's like 10 centuries old, you can try to make some interpretation, make comparison, and then you get into this thing. It's not only just a speech, just not only a
Right,
writing, because yeah, the writing you can sure you can change everything, but there is something that is more true, I would
right,
say,
right.
with the artifact that lie a bit less. So an artwork, even it comes from an artist, to me lies a bit less. But this is an interpretation. This is why I like to study
Sure.
it. And for me, yeah, this is the same process that
Right.
is on the way for art.
So you said the one member of the band writes all the music. How hard is it? It's so technical. I mean, really technical. How hard is it then for everyone else to try and learn, learn it from him? Because some of that stuff I can't even believe he's playing.
Yeah, that's pretty hard. But yeah, this is Matthew, and so this I think also this is also why Gora didn't change that much in a musician way because it comes from the mind of the same person. And this is his way to make music. I mean, he's not really into the really demonstrative stuff. Like he doesn't want to show how good he is, or he's just playing the music, how he feels it. And this is someone who's really into. He has been following a classical teaching, I would say, but he's also a big fan of all what was progressive in the 70s. For instance, that comes pops up in my mind directly. King Crimson
Hmm.
is one of his favorite bands, sure, and all this kind of art, Frank Zappa and Chick Corea, and
Sort of
he's
the
really
the avant-garde sort of stuff also.
absolutely is into the avant-garde of the late 60s and the 70s. And this is something we agree else too, because in this band we are five different person with five different musical tastes.
Right.
So
Right.
that makes all the thing not that simple. But with Mathieu, so the composer, and I, we are the 70s guy, and the others are a bit more connected with the 80s. So there is always a rivalry. And sure, this the thing is that yeah, everything comes. I mean, when he finishes a song, when he shows us a song, there is already the drum track that is programmed. There are already two guitars that are with harmony
Oh wow.
because he's unable to think like a one guitar without harmony because he's really into harmonizing stuff.
Hmm.
So this is his touch. This is his personal touch. And if you listen to the first demo of Gore, it was Gorgasm back in the day.
Right.
If you listen to it, there is the same thing that comes from. And also, he's a huge fan of Marty Friedman and Chester Baker. and in cacophony, then you can hear this kind of
Yeah.
influence of super refined harmony way of doing things. But then, yeah, everyone has to learn it. That's
Right.
that's the hard thing. But I mean that the drummer makes his own feels, his own feeling, like he's integrated his own way to play. And the other guitar player, who's a soloist as well, is like making his own solo, is time to time changing things a bit. Bass player trying
Right.
to make his own bass line. But I mean that the basic is already there. It's hard to change it. I
Right.
mean, you cannot change the structure because it's already. If it's a time to time, there are some friends we are at a party, and I have the first project, and I make them listen how it was sounding like at the very beginning and at the very end. Say, oh, that's not that far.
Oh,
No,
really?
that's
It
it
stays
was.
pretty close.
Yeah, it's pretty close. Yeah, everything
Yeah.
is already here, but yeah, you can hear the different details, but it's more about details than the structure thing. So
Right.
yeah, the macho is crazy.
How difficult is it to play these songs live? Because it's crazy timing as well, right?
Oh, this is just a nightmare. Yeah, it's really hard work because yeah, everyone has to work on their own at home, and then we rehearse. I mean, the musicians are rehearsing because I'm not considering myself as a musician because I'm a singer and just destroying the music afterwards by screaming on it. But all them four, so the two guitar players, bassists and drummers, see them usually at least once a week to practice
Right.
because yeah, practicing home is good, but the problem is
Timing.
as it's tight and it's super physical.
Yeah.
Also, it's really not. It's really hard to play this kind of music. So, and we are getting older also now, so we need more practice.
So
And
so we'll stick with that then for a second. How is it? I mean, you guys are getting, I saw you're getting ready to go on a tour, and actually you're going to be in my neighborhood here the last night of the tour, so I'm going to come see you. But how difficult is it now that we're getting older to prepare for a run like this, playing this kind of music?
But now it's complicated to make it fit with the schedule because when you're older, you have a job, you're family time to time. But yeah, this is something we're imposing ourselves as like at least once a week, like every Friday, all the musicians together to maintain the level.
But even
Because
physically, right? You have to be in some sort of shape to
it's
carry this
physically,
kind
yeah.
of tour out.
On
Yeah.
Friday is physically, but also the good thing is that all the the four musicians don't live too far from each other. It's like yeah, maximum 1 hour away, so 1 hour drive. So that's possible to do it like on Friday. And also as we are all close friends, so that's a good excuse to see each other and to party
Yeah.
on Friday night.
Right. Right.
And I am the one who is living the furthest, and I'm like 250 kilometers from them, so I need to between 2 and 3 hours drive to see them. But yeah, I'm rehearsing like as you mentioned before, just the day before starting the tour, something like that. And I'm also like teaching vocals and stuff, so
Oh,
I'm
okay.
practicing most of the time here. For me, it's just like to fix some things, and also we are working with a click, so.
Right.
When you are used to a tempo, it will be the same on practice. So there is no really surprises. The surprise is just to get used with that. So
Okay.
we can more handle it that way.
What's been the response to the single Breeding Silence so far? Has it been pretty overwhelming?
Well, see, this is pretty strange because we don't really know how it works now with with the social media, social networks. Everything is changing. The algorithm is always changing all the time. You don't really realize if the response is good or not. But yeah, for us, it's still kind of the same. We still have some we still get some message, comments, and everything, but hard to really realize how it will turn out in person in real
Right.
life.
Especially
So
nowadays. I mean, I don't know. I guess people are still going to shows, but it's
mm,
interesting. Shows are
I,
different, right?
I think that the shows will show it for real in the end because like well, when you see there are also I know many bands who have like a crazy buzz. Like there's everyone's talking about like they have millions of views, and then you show go out the show and there's like 50 people only. What the hell is
Right.
going on? Yeah, what happens? And some other bands have almost no actually visibility on the internet or like on this algorithm on YouTube. They have really very small views and it's packed during the show. So it's super hard to get a response, but it's pretty much positive still. But or what happens when there is this little change, really slight change. Some of the hardcore fans say, "Oh no, they changed everything, so it was
Right.
better before than it used to be." And for us, when they say it was better before, we don't really understand because we still feel us. I mean, in our mind, we feel that we are still playing the same music, but just we are
Right.
making it evolve a bit. What's playing is still the same thing, with
Right.
just few experimental sometimes, but nothing more. So I don't know. It's really subjective, but yeah,
So you
we'll
guys have been
see.
at, we'll see, I guess, when you get out to the States. You guys have been at this for a really long time. You ever imagine you'd still be making relevant music or still be doing this?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was actually, I don't know, the band's existence, yeah, for 25 years,
Yeah.
and so I don't feel like we're gonna give up someday. But I know that yeah, the one day we're gonna be too old. I guess that more than 60 or 70 years old to play death metal would be like something like weird. Decide to play like blues, but yeah, from now, like I'm not really thinking that much about the future. Like
Right.
it's long, but yeah, there's still a long way to go. So and it's only the seventh album, so they can be why not? We
Seventh
can
album, I
reach.
mean, that's pretty great considering most bands last an album or two, right? I mean, considering you're 7 albums in, that's a an
Yeah,
accomplishment for sure.
yeah, and still by doing album, I still feel like yeah, we still were able to evolve to integrate new stuff and
And have something to
to
say, sure.
there is always something to say. So I think yeah, no, we will see, but yeah, in the future we'll say because apparently the end of the world is coming soon or whatever. So every
Right.
10 years we hear about it. We'll see, but
Um,
yeah, no,
so
it's gonna last.
you're playing the States here, I think, what, March 16th it starts?
Yep, this is the first show, March 16th in New York, in Brooklyn.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I saw that the last one is in Richmond, so I'll be catching that one here in Virginia. But what do you have planned after that for the rest of the year?
So we're starting the previous weekend. So we play in the 11th of March. This is in the suburb of Paris, because yeah, you know, France, everything is about Paris. Everything is about
Right.
the capital city, and yeah, the scene is over there. Even there are some other cities that are pretty good also in France for metal scene. Yeah, sure. Paris is the biggest. It's like a sixth of the population is living there. So
Right.
can imagine that. Whereas, but there is the rest of the year we are actually there is no tour that is scheduled in Europe still, but I guess that our agent is working on it because yeah, now we try to divide. To everyone is trying to make his own job because it starts to be really complicated. It's
Sure.
more or less like a band becomes more or less a company. So everyone with
Yes.
his sound skills has to do their things. I'm more connected what is about the road directly. So it means I like more work in the logistics directly when once it's booked. And about the booking, the promoting and stuff, I'm not really super good at it. I just know that the plans are a couple of shows and festivals. So yeah, we've been booked like sure the biggest that we have around is the Hellfest. So
Right.
we're gonna play there on the 17th of June. There is the and some other fests in Europe. I guess he's trying to book us in Summer Breeze or stuff like this.
Oh,
But
nice.
this is still on the plan. This is
Right.
still not booked. And a couple of other very small fests, but that's nice to do also the small fest because there can be a day. It's festival that from June to September are working pretty fine. I guess that
Yeah.
people more go to festival than shows now, except if it's a great show. Like for instance, yeah, 2 days ago there was the Leprous who was playing with Monuments. It was sold out to this. So and also yesterday there was Ginger. So Ginger is
Oh,
sold out
wow.
everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so that's kind of show work pretty well, but time to time when there is a slightly more underground it's
Yeah.
harder, but because probably because of inflation, because of the price, the raises,
Yeah.
everything.
Money, right. So
That's hard to say.
one more for you, then and I'll let you go. But when you're traveling to all these cities as a
Mm.
history buff and as a tour guide and that kind of stuff, do you get out and get to explore a little bit and learn?
So yeah, this is the thing that the legend was like, oh wow, you're gonna tour in so many different places, so you're gonna visit it. So, but the thing, this is not tourism. We are at work, and
Right.
work is like when there is a crazy long drive, like it happens pretty often in the United States.
Right.
I mean, let's say 10 hours drive is something pretty common there.
Right.
And sure, you know that you don't have time to make like a tour, but no matter what, I guess the latest tour we did, it was in 2020, so just right before the lockdown.
Right.
And there were some not days off, but when there's a bit of short distance or when you can manage, because I'm more handling the logistics, this is also the reason why I'm trying to handle it. I say, okay, there's 6 hour drives, so we leave at this time, then I can go to this
And I
museum,
can go
I can
see
visit
this,
that,
right.
and I make my own plan. So I'm trying to handle it otherwise, because I'm really carrying off this. But when you are touring with a nightliner, with a tour bus, that's also easier, because usually there is someone that is driving during the night.
Right.
You arrive pretty early in the cities. Time to time, if you can, the bus can be parked not too far from the city center. The city time to time is too far, so you have to just play with it. Yeah, sometimes there's a big regret, because you are so close to somewhere, but you don't have time, and the only thing that you will see is the fucking entrance, the truck stop, the toilet of the truck stop, and the venue, and that's it. So
that sucks.
Yeah, that's hard, but yeah, sometimes there is a possibility to pay by it, even in the US. And last time, I've been visiting like 5 or 6 museums on the last tour.
Oh, nice.
Walking around the city center. And this is what I'm gonna do. And I saw that some short distance can allow it. So yeah, I will handle it.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I figured you'd want to do that. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you taking the time.
You're welcome.
I know you're busy. I'll see you here in Richmond in a couple weeks.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, with the last show of the tour, so
Yeah.
we're gonna be exhausted, but yeah, that should be fun.
Exhausted. I'll catch up with you then.
Catch you up there.
All right, be well, my friend. Bye.
Cheers. Ciao.
Ever wonder what a punch from Elton John feels like?
Or how you'd cope with having turned down the chance to be in Nirvana?
Or what signal Keith Richards gives when he wants you to get the hell out of his hotel room?
Fans of Too Much Effing Perspective don't have to wonder, because they've heard these exact stories and a jillion others on our podcast. I'm Alex Hoffman, former tour manager for Radiohead.
And I'm musician and comedy writer Alan Keller. On the TMEP show, we get guests like Nancy Wilson from Heart, Jeremiah Freites from the Lumineers, and Modern Family's Julie Bowen to tell us things they may have only shared with their therapist, clergy, or a TMZ stringer.
So join us on Too Much Effing Perspective. That's EFFING Perspective. The only podcast you crank up to 11.